like life and death, moon and sun, it's sure to each the piper comes. And while God and Goddess give for free, down below there will be fees. Despite perfect love and perfect trust, there's no way around it, cash is a must. We've sought within, but come up short, so we come to thee, your help to court. If you would aid this temple's life, a $3 donation would be nice. Remember well that gifts when sent return threefold of what was spent. But if you can't, well, blessed be. We shall survive, so mote it be. Merry meet and welcome to week 6 of Wicca, a year and a day in Magic. I'm Lady Nefties, and this week we'll be going over the calendar system of Wicca, the Wheel of the Year. Now, it's important to note, for the most part, that Pagans and Wiccans follow this calendar system, but there are some Pagans who may follow the calendar of another part of the world, such as ancient Egypt. They had a completely different calendar system and agricultural season compared to Northern Europe, which the Wheel of the Year is based off of. It's also important to note for those of you in the Southern Hemisphere that your Sabbats will be opposite to what we are celebrating up here in the Northern Hemisphere. For example, Yule would be in June when winter starts down there, as opposed to in the Northern Hemisphere, Yule is celebrated on December 21st. Now let's begin our Wheel of the Year journey with the start of the Witch's New Year, Samhain. It's on October 31st, and yes, this is where Halloween comes from. Now, on the Wheel of the Year, it's an agricultural calendar system, and it also reflects the cycle of the year of nature. Now, Samhain has its place as the last of the 3 harvest Sabbats. At the Sabbath, in ancient times, livestock was slaughtered, and the meat was preserved for the winter. Samhain is also a major Sabbath because it's the time when the goddess assumes her role as the crone and descends into the underworld to visit the god, thus taking her gift of life and vegetation away from the land. At this time, the god has now become the lord of the underworld and is awaiting rebirth. Now, the veil between the worlds of the living and the dead is thinnest at this time, which is why the dead are associated with the Sabbath. It's common practice for Wiccans to offer the dead gifts and food on this day. Now, the colors of Samhain are obviously black and orange, but also brown. And this is a time to overcome fears and to remember your ancestors. And it's also important to note that in the Celtic calendar system, that this was the beginning of winter. Our next Sabbath on the Wheel of the Year is Yule. Now, Yule takes place on December 21st or 22nd, depending. Now, Yule is the winter solstice. This is the longest night and shortest day of the year. It's also the day when the Oak King and the Holly King battle. Now, the Oak King wins, and thus starts the waxing year. Now, the waxing year refers to the time of year when the days grow longer with each passing day until the next solstice in the summer. Now, also at Yule, the sun god is reborn to the goddess, and he also brings with him the waxing sun. You could see the god at this time as Horus, and the goddess Isis, if you would like. Now, the god is a newborn, and the goddess is the maiden, the mother, and the crone. But other traditions say that she is the maiden at this time. Now, activities you can do at Yule are just like they are for Christian Christmas, which the Christians basically stole Yule from us. Now, you can decorate your Yule tree and burn a Yule log with your spells and incantations on that log. And Yule is also a minor Sabbath, just to let you know. Now, the colors of Yule are red and green. And Yule is really a time for rebirth, and the rebirth of the sun, and a festival of lights. Now, our next major Sabbath is Imbolc, which takes place on February 2nd. At this time, winter is starting to lose its grip, but the weather is still harsh despite this. Little bits of life are starting to emerge again, and baby animals are starting to be born. This is because the goddess has returned to the earth. She is no longer the crone, but is the maiden, bringing new life with her. The god is a young boy at this time, and this Sabbath honors the goddess Bridget, the Celtic goddess of fire. Now, when Christianity took over Ireland, they found it hard to get rid of this goddess, so they made her a saint and changed Imbolc to Candlemas. Now, the colors of Imbolc are red and white, and this is a time for purification. Now, the last Sabbath we'll be going over today is Ostara, which is a minor Sabbath. The spring equinox, as it's called. It's the start of spring. At this day and night are equal, thus being called the equinox. At this time, the goddess is a maiden, and the god is a phallic god. You can see the god at this time as being Pan. As for the goddess, you can see her as the one the Sabbath is named after, Ostara. She's the goddess of spring and fertility. She and the strengthening sun god bring renewed life to the world. They also start their courtship. Now, the symbol of this Sabbath is the Easter egg. Now, it's not called the Easter egg, though. It actually was a gift from one of Ostara's beloved rabbits. And this rabbit loved Ostara so much that he decided he was going to lay an egg for her. And then he was going to paint it. Now, Ostara loved it so much that she decided that she has to share this with everybody in the whole world. And thus, it's a major symbol of fertility and of spring equinox. And the color of Ostara is, surprise, green for the returning spring. And themes for Ostara are rebirth and fertility. Now, next week, we will be continuing the Wheel of the Year with the next 4 Sabbaths. Now, there are 8 in a year. Now, your assignment for this week is, before you came to Wicca, how did your life match up with the Wheel of the Year as I've explained it to you thus far? Was Imbolc a time for renewal and purification for you? Was Ostara a time of rebirth? Now, if you don't have anything to compare that with, that's fine. I'm not grading you on anything, remember? Now, until next time, blessed be.